What's up, family? Man, welcome to my Valentine's Day. It's hot in here. Valentine's Day special. I guess that's what we want to call it, right? Uh, it's hot. I probably should have wore something different. Let me hold on real quick. All right, had to turn my fan on. I can't be on here sweating. Um, it's because I was running upstairs. Listen, welcome. So today is Valentine's Day, but also today is uh, the last day of National Marriage Week. So Marriage Week was from the 7th to the 14th. All right. And the theme this year for National Marriage Week was love beyond words. So what I decided to do last week on the first day, well, before the first day, the first day of Marriage Week, I created a video called, I was doing a series called 7 Principles of Love, right? And I did the first video. My intent was to do a video each day, 7 videos. Well, I did the first video, then life happened. So I said, you know what? I'll just do all 7 principles on Valentine's Day. And that's what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna give you these 7, but I really want to focus on the last one. All right, that's what the bulk of this message is going to be about. And I hope you stay tuned to the end, because hopefully I can help you have a better understanding of what love is, so that you can stop punishing your partner for not loving you. Okay? Now, so I'm gonna go through the principles. Kind of. I'm not gonna zoom through them, but I'm gonna go, a little fast. I'm not gonna do all of them until I get to the last one, because that's the one I really want to focus on, right? So let's just get right into it. And again, I said Valentine's Day, but really I call today National Women's Appreciation Day, because it's as if us men don't get no love, right? We don't get any. Right? It's all about the women, and I'm fine with that, So anyway, but let's get into these principles. So here to go. Here's the first principle. Now, let me give you this disclaimer too. I'm sorry. These are 7 principles of love. These are not the 7, right? Meaning there's more than 7, way more than 7. These are just 7 that I chose to talk about during this time. There's way more than 7, right? So I don't want you thinking that this is a comprehensive or exhaustive list of love principles. I don't know if anyone could do that, but that's not what this is, okay? So here's the first one. Love is the greatest commandment, right? Love is the greatest commandment. I start there. Why? Because I think that's important. I think when the creator of love says that love is the most important thing, we need to listen to that, right? So we got in scripture, one time a lawyer stood up to ask Jesus a question. Teacher, what's the greatest commandment? Right? And then here's what Jesus said. Relationship. Love. He said, love the Lord your God. And then he said, love your neighbor as yourself. That's 3 different categories. Love God, love your neighbor, love yourself. And your spouse falls into the category of neighbor, because there's only 3 categories. They fall into the category of neighbor, right? So that's the first principle. Love is the most important commandment. It's the greatest commandment. Meaning it's important. You can't have a healthy relationship without love. All right, so what's the second one? The second one is this. Love is for the benefit of the receiver, not the giver. If I'm the giver of love, the love that I have is not for me. It's for my wife or whoever I'm loving, right? It's for my children. It's for my mom, right? Love is not for me. Now, when I receive love, that comes from someone else. So here's our working definition of love that we're going to use, okay? Love is sacrificial giving for the benefit of the receiver. Sacrificial giving, meaning I'm giving and I'm sacrificing, and it's for your benefit. That's going to be important as we continue, especially when I get to the last one, right? So love is for the benefit of the receiver. That's important for you to know, because see, a lot of us think that my love is for me and you need to earn it. No, love is a free will choice. You give it away. Okay. So that's the second one. What's the next one? Before I go to the next one, let me say this, because I don't know if I said this. I say this all the time. Love is not about you. It's about the person you're loving, but pride is about you. Okay. And pride is the opposite of love. You need to stop trying to love your partner from the comfort of your life. What do I mean by that? So, like since the pandemic, a lot of people have been working from home, and I work from home, right? My office is in my home. But I could not be an effective therapist or coach if I tried to counsel people from the comfort of my couch, in my robe and with some coffee. That's not going to be effective. In the same way, you try to love your spouse from the comfort of your life, meaning what's easy for you, right? What doesn't cause you problems, what's not sacrificial. Okay? And here's what I tell people. Love is like a house, right? Love is like a house, and everything that you need to have a healthy relationship lives inside the house. Everything that you need. Patience, kindness, attention, appreciation, security, affection, whatever you need relationally lives in the love house. Right? So when you say I love you, you're actually declaring whenever you need something in this love house, I'm going to give it to you. That's what it means, but that's usually not what we mean when we say it. Right? We usually mean what have you done for me lately? All right, remember, love is not about you. It's about the person you're loving. But watch this. Being in love is 100% about you. 100%. You being in love is not about your partner. But being in love, or what we call, and I'm talking about the phrase in love. I'm not talking about actual love. When we say I'm in love, we're not actually talking about love. Not the kind of love that we need in our relationships. Right? So when I feel in love, that's about me. And that's how we've confused Valentine's Day with love. It's not. But I'm going to talk about that later. Okay. All right. So number 3, third principle. Love needs humility to thrive. Okay. Love needs humility to thrive. You will not be able to operate in love at all without humility. It's not going to happen. Right? You may have heard me say this before, and I'm going to keep saying it, right? Humility is the skeleton key of human relationships. The skeleton key, the master key. Humility. Because without humility, you can accomplish nothing positive in your relationship, period. Right? Humility, by the way, is not about thinking less of yourself. Right? The Bible says, consider others better than yourself. It don't mean that like you're literally better than me. Now, humility is not about thinking less of yourself, but it is about thinking of yourself less. Like you think about yourself too much. All right. I remember there was a time in my marriage when we was going through a rough patch, right? And my marriage was constantly on my mind. We was going through a rough patch, always. So then God said, son, I usually know I'm in trouble when he says son. He says, son, you think about your marriage way more than you think about me. Now, the reason he pointed that out is because when I was thinking about my marriage, I was not thinking about how I can give more love to my wife. No, I was thinking about me. I was thinking about what I was going through. We call that pride, right? Now, had I been walking in love, had I been walking in humility, then I would have been thinking more about what I'm giving than what I'm receiving. So that's the third one. Love needs humility. Without humility, love can't exist. Love needs humility to thrive. Here's number 4. Love does not keep a list of wrongs. Like love doesn't hold grudges. Love doesn't hold things against the other. Love forgives. Right? And too many people say that they love their partner, but then they got a list of things that their partner's done wrong to them. Those two don't match, right? When you do that, love can't flow. See, when the Bible says that when God forgives us, he throws it into the sea of forgetfulness and he remembers it no more. He's not talking. It's not saying that God is crazy, like he developed some kind of amnesia and he doesn't remember. That's not what it's saying, right? Obviously, he remembers it. But what it means is he's not going to bring it up. It means what you did once he forgives you, it has no bearing on your relationship with him. Right? Now, I remember, so there was some hurtful things in my marriage that I had to forgive my wife for. And let me say, there's some hurtful things we had to forgive each other for, right? Y'all stop being nosy. Y'all got a regular marriage too. Okay, we just regular folk over here. But anyway, my story, right? I had to forgive her for some things, right? So now we move past that. So as we do life today, the thought of the things that I've forgiven her for, it may pop in my head. But when it does, when that old injury pops in my head, I kick it out immediately. Why? Because number one, love keeps no records of wrong. But then number two, you can't feel positive when you're thinking about negative things. You can't feel good when you're thinking bad. So I kick that out of my head, right? Number four, you need don't do that. That threw me off. So number four is love does not keep a record of wrongs. Love does not hold grudges. Okay, stop doing that. And I have a lesson on grudges. If you hold a grudge, what's the point? You know you're not hurting your partner when you hold a grudge. You the one got the grudge. Let that go. It's number four. Number five, love requires giving. You can give without loving, but you cannot love without giving. You can't love without giving. Commission had a song that says, what good will love do you if you keep it to yourself? Somebody needs to receive it from you, so why don't you give it to somebody else? In other words, stop saying, I love you, and then showing that you don't. Love is care in action, right? Love is motivated by care. So when I care about my wife, the action that I put with that care, that we call that love. Okay, that's number five. Number six, and this is important too. This is really important. Love is not transactional. Okay, yeah, you need to understand that, man. So many people come into my office with this transactional love mentality. Love is not transactional, right? When you treat love like a transaction, it's no longer love. And what do I mean by transaction? Like when I go to Sam's and buy the big pack of toilet paper, like I love Sam's toilet paper. Or ever since I started buying that, I don't really buy other. Anyway, transaction. So I go to Sam's to buy a big thing of toilet paper, right? That's a transaction. I give them money, they give me toilet paper. I give them what they want, they give me what I want. As a matter of fact, the reason I give them what they want is so that they will give me what I want. But love does not work that way. Too many of you have a transactional marriage, right? You cannot manipulate someone into loving you. Love needs liberty to thrive. You got to give them the freedom to choose to love you. Like when I have my affair couples, I tell them, I understand you want to check their phone. I understand you want to put a tracker on the car. I understand you want them to call at every stop. However, at some point, you're going to have to pull back and give them the freedom, the liberty to cheat again so that they can choose not to. Because if you're forcing them to do what you want, it's not love, and it's not going to register in your heart as love. It won't work for you. Okay? So now, the one we came for, the one y'all came, well, I don't know if y'all came for, but it's the one I came to give you. Finally, principle number 7. This is what the thumbnail says, right? Love is not for Valentine's Day. Now, why is that a principle? I'm actually explaining the principle. That's not the principle. I'm explaining the principle of love is not a feeling, right? But I framed it as love is not for Valentine's Day. It's just not, right? Listen, so many people are going to be upset after today because they didn't get anything. And then some people are going to feel so loved because they got something today. But here's the thing. Whatever you feel, you contribute more to what you feel than your partner does. This is something I've been teaching this maybe the last, at least all this year, and I'm going to keep hammering it because I don't know who's going to get it, but I'm going to keep saying it because I believe it's true, right? You contribute more to how you feel than your partner. So think about this. A lot of you ladies going to get flowers for Valentine's Day, all right? So let's use that as an example. If I buy my wife flowers and it makes her feel good, she don't really feel good because I bought flowers. She feels good because of what she thinks about me buying flowers. Because if I had just cheated and then I bought her flowers, she's not going to feel special. Why? Because she has a different perspective of the flowers. Same man, same gift, same heart, different interpretation. And that is across the board, right? So love is not about making you feel good. That can't be true. If my love is about making you feel good, but then you are the one in control of how you feel, how that work? So that means I'll be full of love and you may never get it, depending on how you interpret stuff. Love is not for pleasure. Okay? Love is not for pleasure. That is probably the biggest myth about love, and it is destroying relationships because people equate love in the relationship to how they feel. So then if you don't make me feel good, then you must not love me. But how you feel comes from you. I hope y'all getting this. So let me talk about a little bit about the purpose of love, right? So that we can stop mislabeling what love is, right? First, love is love. Because I didn't say this earlier. Love is love, no matter what relationship it shows up in. Now, when I did that first video last week, that's one of the things I said in that video. I think I only got one person who gave me some pushback. Then again, it's probably a whole lot of people that saw it, but it's all good. I'm going to say it again. Love is love no matter what relationship it shows up in, whether it's a romantic relationship, platonic, or work relationship. Love looks the same. It does. Now, watch this. I did not say that we behave the same in all relationships. That's not what I said. I said that love is the same. Yeah, love is for the purpose of meeting needs. That's it. It's care in action. But see, Valentine's Day is not a good assessment of the love in your relationship because Valentine's Day is about treating your partner special and it's about making somebody feel good. And I'm not anti-feeling good. Right? You want to make your partner feel warm and fuzzy? I'm all for warm and fuzzy. You want to make them feel like they're on cloud? I'm all for cloud nine. But understand, love is not warm and fuzzy. Love is not warm and fuzzy. There's nothing wrong with wanting your partner to feel special. Again, I'm all for romance. I'm all for passion. As a matter of fact, I don't want a passionless, non-romantic marriage. I don't want that. But passion, romance, and love are not the same things. And we treat them as if they are, especially on Valentine's Day. All right? Let me give you some descriptions. Something I was thinking about today. Let me give you some descriptions of relationships and how it relates to love. Something you got. So I got this little graphic for you, right? So let me show you this. All right. So here's the first. Let me show you this first thing. So when you go to my next slide, there we go. Love, for a healthy relationship, all you need is love. That's it. That's all. Now, when I say that's it, that's all, relative to the talk we're having, right? Okay. So if you got questions, you're gonna have to ask me because I'm teaching this way. It's not all inclusive, all encompassing, but hopefully you can get it, right? And if you don't, just ask me a question. But so love, you got a healthy relationship if it's full of love, right? Love is flowing freely back and forth between your healthy relationship. But then, love plus passion equals a close relationship. Love plus passion equals a close relationship. And then love plus passion plus romance equals a fun relationship. Who want fun relationship? I want a fun relationship. Mhm. And then love plus passion plus romance plus friendship is what I call a thriving relationship. That's where that's like I'm tempted to say that relationship is unbreakable, but I don't want nobody to hold me to that, and then they sue me, and they think they had this and they don't, and so then they come to me and say, hey, you said, but a thriving relationship, that's the goal, based on this: love, passion, romance, and friendship. Now, there's one more. When your relationship is love deficient, plus or minus anything else, it's unhealthy. If you have a relationship and you don't have love, I don't care what else you have, it's unhealthy. I didn't say it was toxic. It's unhealthy, but it has a high potential of becoming toxic. Okay, so all right. Now, what is then love what then is love in marriage? The same thing. Love in marriage is the same thing. It's love plus romance plus passion plus friendship. That's just an easy way for me to explain it to you, so you can understand where love fits and how you can see that it's not the same as passion and it's not the same as romance, right? Love is what it is. It does not change. All right. Now, if you're still confused, wave your hand. All right. Okay, I see you. Let's go. So let's go a little deeper, right? I didn't see you, really. I just said that. Okay. He can see me in my house? No, I can't. Love is not subjective. Here's what that means. Love doesn't change depending on your interpretation of it. That's why the 5 love languages is not really about love. When I say that, folk get upset. I know y'all love 5 love languages. It's interesting. And I honestly believe it's a very good, basic, fundamental place to start. But you can't stay there. If you stay there, you're gonna end up in pride, right? See, based on the 5 love languages, love is subjective, right? You need me to love you in a way you can understand. See, that sounds good because it appeals to my pleasure, but it ain't real. It's not love. Think about this. When I say love is not subjective, think about this. If Jesus says, greater love has no man than this, meaning this is the deepest love can get. Greater love has no man than this, than to lay down his life for a friend, right? If Jesus says that, then are we saying that that's his opinion? Because if love is subjective, then that's Jesus' opinion, but that ain't, you don't got to die for me. I don't think that's love. I don't think it works that way, right? If laying down your life is the greatest expression of love, where does my pleasure come into play? What about my happy feelings? See, a lot of people, they get married, and at the wedding, they'll read 1 Corinthians 13 at the wedding. But they don't realize that the love they're reading about and the love feeling that made them crazy about their spouse, they're not the same things. It was just a feeling. The thing that drove you to the altar probably was not love. I know I'm just rearranging all kind of. Some of y'all are not rearranging furniture because you're like, nah, those folk probably turned me off already, right? So, yeah, you probably didn't. You probably did not get married for love. I've never met anyone that got married for love. Now, I'm not saying you get married for like wrong reasons or whatever, but we don't usually get married for love. And let me say this. Let me intersect this real quick before I continue. Because I hear some of you saying, yeah, you talking about the Bible, you talking about agape, but then there's human relationships like, there's eros and there's philia, and I don't believe that. I'm going to tell you what I mean. I'm going to try to be real quick because this can get deep, and I want to be deep or long. So, eros. So in the Greek language, there's a word for love called eros, and there's a word for love called philia. Eros is supposedly romantic love, and philia is supposedly like brotherly love. But I tend to believe what God says love is. And every time the Bible talks about love and God, it's talking about agape. As a matter of fact, when the Bible says, husbands, love your wives, don't say nothing about eros. It's talking about agape. And that's marriage. So here's the point that I'm making. We got to stop confusing love with pleasure. We got to stop confusing love with romance. Stop confusing love with passion. Love is not for the purpose of making you feel good. Listen, love is not for the purpose of making you feel good. Love is not for the purpose of making you feel good. Love is not for the purpose of making you feel good. Love is not for the purpose of making you feel good. Love is about meeting your needs. And you don't need a new purse. You don't need flowers. Right? Love is about meeting needs. There's a place for stuff like that. But that's not love's wheelhouse. Love's wheelhouse is not your pleasure, it's your protection. It's your need. The same love that drove Jesus to the cross is the same love that we need in our marriage for it to thrive. But you also need romance and the passion and the friendship, right? But love is the piece, like it won't work without love, but love isn't everything, right? So if you don't get anything for this Valentine's Day, do not automatically assume they don't love you. And if you do get something for Valentine's Day, do not automatically assume, oh man, we're good. They so in love with me. You're going to hurt yourself. Okay? All right. So listen, happy Women's Appreciation Day. I hope this was helpful at some level. And I know I'm going to talk about this again because I know I got to get it into people's heads, at least the people I coach, right? If you want to have a thriving marriage, you need to put love in its place. Because if you don't, you're inviting suffering into your life, into your relationship, into your marriage. For what? You don't have to do that. Okay? Listen, y'all go out tonight, enjoy yourself. Me and my wife went out last night, had an amazing time. Right? But we've had many discussions about, what love is, what romance is, and what pleasure is, and how they fit where. You need to do the same thing so that when you don't feel loved, you can still look and see love. Like, I may not feel it, but I know it's there. Maybe I'm missing the fun. Maybe I'm missing some chemistry. But don't destroy your relationship because of passion or romance. Like, if there's love there, you can get that other stuff back. But if love ain't there, you're going to be in trouble. Okay? All right. Hope this was helpful. You guys enjoy the rest of your Valentine's Day, Women's Appreciation Day. And I'll catch up with y'all next time.